Cool. So welcome to my stream. Welcome back, or welcome. It's, whatever. Playing a new game. It is called, well, new-ish. It is called Roadwarden. Never played it. Don't know a whole lot about it, other than it's pixel. So here we go. We marvel at the serenity of the forest and crave the shroud of its silence. And okay, there we go. I'm already screwed up. So yeah, here we go. Ooh, this is not going to be friendly with my... Everyone knows to stay away from the wilderness. Most people would never risk a lonely journey. Roadwardens not only accept this struggle, but embrace it. They deliver messages, assist merchants, burn human corpses, and if possible get rid of the beasts and highwaymen. They live on the road, die young, or retire early. It's a dangerous job, but a respectable one, and it pays well. Let's do it. I am remembering now, before I do any more, to put my phone on Do Not Disturb, which I've forgotten to do in the past. Alright. Please select the difficulty. This choice can't be altered later. Just go standard. Maybe if I really enjoy it, I'll play around with other ones, but... The wall is still standing. There are no wolves around. No stench of blood. Good signs. This should be the place you're looking for. You were supposed to meet with a group of soldiers, but you hear no voices, no sounds of labor. The gate is ajar, but the camp isn't safe. It may keep away the goblins and pebblers, but not beast folk nor trolls. And the night is near. Your palfrey breathes heavily. It had a long day. Let's sneak to the gate. Your heavy boots hit the ground, and the pain of the long ride finally catches up with you. You stretch out, bringing your backs and legs comfort. All you want now is a table, a decent chair, a nice mug of beer, and some warm stew. With any luck, your axe won't be needed. So let's see. Oh, I feel well. If it's a military camp, it doesn't look the part. Plenty of wasted space, the fire pit is cold. 2 people are sitting at the table, tired and disheartened. They're looking in different directions, paying no attention to one another. One of them is holding a cup. After a moment, you notice the quiet humming. You recognize the melody of a light-hearted drinking song from the city harbor. Sure. It takes them a few breaths to glance in your direction. The first person greets you with a wave of his hand. There are bags under his eyes. His beard is messy. Despite a simple shirt, he's wearing a durable, decent boots. A mace with a head covered in iron hangs at his side, but he doesn't reach for it. Just like you, she's wearing a gambeson, but hers is a bit loose, as if she took it off a corpse. Her head is shaven, as if she's protecting herself from flesh-eating bugs. Her eyes are weary, yet kind. She smiles. Considering the squad was sent here half a year ago, these two surely look the part, though there should be more of them. 8. I'll ask. You wonder how to phrase the question. You can influence how they perceive you by selecting one of the attributes. Can I click that? Oh. Friendly, be supportive and cordial. Playful, distanced, intimidating, or vulnerable. We're gonna be friendly. Oh, I can see the option before I choose it. Hope you're gonna do 10. Can we talk for a bit? Sure you're busy, so... Flat, normal, okay. Dick. I'll just go with friendly. Friendly seems like the way to go. And outside, dusts off her gambeson and steps towards you. She pays little attention to the sword at her side. Most definitely can you and I, though holding this rank is still somewhat new to me. Are you a messenger? Did you lose your mount? Or are you looking for help? I'm the new Roadwarden. Soldier in the shirt. That explains how you got here all in one piece, all by yourself. I can read. I am. Better bring your beast here, adds the lieutenant. We have no hay, but I bet it dreams of dropping its saddle. I'm Tulia, by the way. I'm Katrakiram. Yeah. Her grasp is confident, the shake is slight. Just keep your horse away from the tents. We don't need to smell its dung. There's one issue. We've no tent to spare. You'll have to use a blanket or something. I enjoy the stars. Not many humans could ride a horse. It's not only taller than you, but also bulky. As heavy as it is strong. You can get in the saddle within a single breath, but most people wouldn't know where to even begin. From every side, it's a wall of flesh. That is a horse. That's just straight up what a horse is. Horses were brought to the Dragonwoods from the conquest in the south. They can trot for a long time, but won't outrun some of the local monsters. Your palfrey needs you to survive, but without it, you too would be lost. Yeah, we're obviously like buddies. Gonna be best friends with the horse. Takes a few steps towards you, scolding you with another snort. You scratch the bottom of its neck. With strength and confidence, just the way it likes. Humans see useful animals and even pets as monsters in disguise. What? That's bullshit. Getting emotionally attached to them is believed to lead humans to their doom. That might be true. But it doesn't mean I'm not going to fall in love with every animal I meet. But you know that horses need companionship. Absolutely. You end up next to the fire pit. Removing the saddle makes the horse nicker with relief. You take a couple minutes to examine its back just in case. While the riding equipment is not heavy for such a strong animal, with enough time to start, it starts to chafe. You wish I had something better to eat than this shabby grass. You should look for an inn. I'm back. Ooh, I get to choose like a class. You haven't brought many things, and you lost one of your sacks while fleeing the Crimson Corpse Eaters. Worst of all, you have no rope left, but maybe the soldiers could share one. Shouldn't cost more than a dragon bone. I hope that's money, and not like a real, like a dragon bone that has been hunted and captured and collected. So, let's see. Aside from the travel set, you own a few valuable possessions essential for your trade. So, decent combat equipment. Talisman to help me use my powers, as well as an iron axe and a worn gambeson. That does not feel, let's learn more about him. As a fighter, you'll have an easier time in physical challenges thanks to your superior equipment and hidden bonuses during dice rolls. You'll be physically more capable than other classes. This is a lot of reading. What was it? It's the best class for RPG beginners. The fighter's weakness is their reliance on physical strength. Your special abilities won't be available if your vitality drops to 0. I mean, if my vitality drops to 0, I think I have other problems, right? The mage uses Pneuma, a versatile but limited pool of energy points that can be spent to cast a few humble spells. Magic won't protect you any better than a sharp axe. Won't protect you better than a sharp axe, but as a mage, you'll be able to heal faster while resting, detect magic in mysterious areas, distract a beast with a simple trick, and find a common tongue with other magic users. Using the mage's power too freely will result in you having no Pneuma left when you need it the most. Scholar will know more about the world of mysteries than you, helping you take advantage of some unusual situations. Your character will impress the locals with its knowledge, and you'll be able to read the sparse written clues without anyone's assistance. Scholars struggle with combat more than the other classes, but with enough carefulness and exploration, you'll gain access to alchemical mixtures that help you escape from many dangerous situations. God, it's like choosing a starter in Pokemon. Let's go with the mage. Open your inventory to see your possessions. Okay, let's see what I got. So I got 2 food. I'm assuming that's just 5 coins. A gambeson. Magical amulets, plural. It's unreliable. Help you focus your pneuma in ways that you don't quite understand. What kind of world is this? It was like, oh, I can do magic. I just don't know how the fuck it works. Sack contains all sorts of useful tools. Simple battle axe. Traveling with an axe shows that you've learned how to fight humans and human-sized monsters. It's not masterfully made, but it's already been put to the test, and you practiced it for many days. Alright, cool. Narration, text speed. Cool. Some time to okay. Oh, wait, armor. Taking hits will damage your armor. You can then fix it in various settlements. That makes sense. Packed and inspect your belongings. Your water skin isn't pierced. Your spare clothes are still here. Take a look at your wooden bowl and mug. Your cape. Ooh, I have a cape. Tinderbox, bandages, food rations, and knife. Nothing special or too cumbersome. From time to time, your routine helps you avoid mistakes, but this doesn't make it any more exciting. That's, it's a routine. They're at the table again, observing your beast and chatting between themselves. Your stomach growls at the sight of them eating out of wooden bowls. One more bowl is put at a previously unused end of the table. You can sit down on a tree log. Yeah, I'll join them. Keeping your stomach full will make you stronger. Starvation won't allow you to restore vitality when resting. You can find your supplies in the inventory. Cool. Great. Cold gruel, the meal eaten in times of hardship. This specific bowl is filled with water, hog, millet, some strange-looking cereals, and blueberries. Welcome you with a meal, even a humble one, is beyond their duty. Soldiers live with and for their companions, constantly on the move from one part of the realm to the other, making sacrifice to protect the group. There's so much reading. You know what, though? I did know that when I installed this game, so I don't know why I'm even, like it's not noteworthy that there's reading, because that's what the game is. Roadwardens, on the other hand, learn how to work by themselves. They seldom engage in open combat, patrolling the same roads for years. They help the settlement stay in touch, but also maintain commerce, settle down, forge friendships. When there are no laws to follow, they use their own judgment. Different responsibilities, different lifestyles. Cool. Just focus and choose words carefully. She looks... What's that? Oh, cool. She looks away only when she gathers her thoughts. Can tell you less than I would like and less than I should. As you can see, there's not a lot of us left. At the beginning of summer, there were 8 of us, including our previous lieutenant. 5 are dead. 1 has run away in tears. We're also strangers in this land. Awesome. The man leans forward, his legs shaking nervously. He sounds like a kid asking a bard to sing one more story, tell a joke, do a magic trick. Whatever it takes to escape from boredom. His untrimmed beard hides a much younger face than you originally thought. What did the officials tell you? I expect not that much. No soul governs these lands. Sure, I have no reason to not talk to them right now. Tell the soldiers how little guidance you've received. Grade A. That is government. Since this area is too far away from Hovlevan to keep it under control, you were warned that it's untamed and unknown. Who knows how many villages, bandits, or monsters may be found in these unmapped hills and forests. From time to time, new people come here to look for boundless opportunities. Most of them never return. Do they turn into walking corpses or find what they're looking for? Great. Lieutenant drinks from her cup, crosses her legs, ankle on knee. Seeing your chair makes you doubt she'll ever find a comfortable position. I mean, if it's a stump like mine, then yeah, no. Where should we start? Oh god. Before I continue my journey, I have to ask them about the peninsula, the Roadwarden, and rope. I'm gonna cover all these. I'll tell you what I know, and you'll be the judge. How long did it take you to get here from the city on a decent palfrey? I'd guess it would be 3 or 4 days. From here, you can reach the coast in about a day, as long as you don't make any stops. Excuse me. Do you know the situation? Why no ships can get here? The sea route allows Havlaven officials to keep in touch with the coastal villages. But maintaining order on a wild coast such as this one is like filling the ocean depths with coins. Because of the rocks, you can hardly stop a ship 5 miles from the shore. The boats can't get much closer. I don't know much about fishing, but there's not many people living by the shore, and they don't crave to stay in touch with the city folk. No soul from the north ever came to the camp, but when we traveled to the roadside inn, Pelt of the North, they're happy to trade and play dice. I mean, we're to guard this road. This camp is our post, and well, don't take this the wrong way, but are you a devout soul? I'm a pagan! No. So I believe that people should unite their strength, overcome, be judged for good and evils. The United Church. I have a place in my fellowship. You'd probably call me a pagan. Yeah, sure, why not? A pagan Roadwarden? Oh, that's an... Now, I'm sure we can have a conversation. We're civilized people. I'm from the United Church, and I'm not a priest or anything, and definitely not a zealot. The United Church spilled the blood of countless pagan tribes, making it clear that who's not with them is against them. Your family shared gruesome stories about the atrocities committed by the priests against your ancestors. I mean, I'm here to do a job. And that's it. The people here are disquieting. Every few words she taps the table with her fingers. Their traditions won't help them negotiate with the officials here. It's just pointing at them. The peninsula is connected with roads like a big circle. In the northwest, you'll find a weird village in a bog. It's not exactly pagan. I don't think it even has a priest who claims to be. It's not exactly pagan, I don't think. It even has a priest who claims to be an eremite. She means the fellowship. They do crazy shit. They use the dead to cut down trees and dig soil. What? You've heard tales such as this one since you were a child. If an isolated settlement managed to survive a city's influence, its customs and traditions grow more and more alien. Every generation learns how to adapt to the dangerous conditions they have to deal with, and the rustic pagan traditions muddy their river of faith. The church warns members about crazy druids, necromancers, and blood mages, the bringers of doom, the traitors to humankind. Alright. Speak with the necromancers. You can see why we were not eager to go there if we could avoid it. Maybe they'll be more welcoming to a Roadwarden. The roads are dangerous, with little to no shelters. People need your help. The man in the shirt turns a bit and points a finger to the northwest. If you're heading to the undead village, you'll get to an inn first, and soon. The Pelt to the north is a safe place. You can talk with the innkeeper and the guards, ask them about the road. Cool. The road east, hard to tell. We went there only once. There are hills, forests, rivers. We saw a tunnel sculpted in leaves and branches, but we didn't enter it. Wilderness all around. All sorts of beasts. Goblins, treants, cats large and small. Why would a small cat be like a beast to worry about? Runners, howlers, wolves, spiked boars, mouflon eaters, griffins. Alright. Great. Trees are so tall that the flying creatures keep to the coast and mountains. There's not that many humans around, and the animals are busy fighting amongst themselves. They fight more for food than territory. Don't provoke them and ride fast. Just count on luck. Great. Alright. Previous Roadwarden. Aren't you a bit late for a rescue mission? We haven't heard from him in almost half a year. Get their story straight. They confirmed that he had stopped by their camp a few times and stopped showing up in the early summer. The bearded soldier, who's the young guy, starts to scratch the table with the tip of his knife without looking at you. I don't remember his voice. Always busy, drowning in things to take care of. He would sit somewhere, sharpen his sword, fix his loud mail, clean clothes, write notes on that wax tablet of his, and leave at dawn. Unlike us, Asterion never gets bored. He's secretive, but some of the locals speak about him warmly. Maybe he just doesn't like us. So his name's Asterion. If anyone knows, they won't tell us if he's alive. Maybe someone is keeping him in a basement. What? We haven't seen him or his saurian. Something ate them, I bet. The officials have hired you, right? They don't expect him to return. Richer roadwardens often use four-legged meat-eating saurians as their mount. They have to be tamed and trained since they're hatching, but unlike horses can easily defend themselves from many monsters. At least my palfrey is fast and reliable and won't suddenly sink its teeth into an innocent passerby. That is a plus. Maybe he left a message. Neither one of us had any insights on his dealings. My predecessor left me no clues. We also took a look at Asterion's stuff. Oh wait, I almost forgot. He has kids. There's plenty to take all his things there. A pouch, a second spear, a decent bow, some potions. Quite a treasure. But I would much prefer to bring them the truth about their father. Here's the catch. We've hired a messenger to ask the commanders for further orders. Since she hasn't returned and you know nothing about her, she either ran away or something happened to her. We are meant to stay here until fall. What do you think? Come see us. Tell us what you've learned about the man, and we'll get back to Havlaven together. Think about your real mission. You were planning to return to Havlaven in the early fall anyways. Yeah, sure. I don't think he's going to be happy with me taking away all of his possessions. Ooh, wait, journal. Hell yeah. Humans, groups, beastie. Oh my god. What the heck? There's still more to learn. Oh no. Ugh. Like most people, you know quite a bit about pebblers. Maybe the most infamous source. Oh boy. Foxes? Alright, quests. Find the Roadwarden. Cool. You're in luck. A fine rope. Absolutely. Oh, I should have given him food. Oh well. Alright. Bandits happen in monsters. A strong band, though. When we got to the peninsula in the spring, we saw some people living in this camp. The lieutenant decided to avoid it and looked for an inn. We had to travel through the night for a bit. If he had decided otherwise, we would have all died that day. The innkeeper explained that the camp is a trap. Hold on. Oh, okay. I misread. Or misunderstood. Some people living in this camp. Not this specific camp, but it was like, oh, they're just living in this camp over there. The camp is a trap, and the armed ones pretend to be soldiers. Stay there at night, lose everything you have. Slave hunters. Awesome. They killed some, took away others. Who knows where. They were letting the northerners go, hoping to avoid their wrath. It kind of worked. We asked them for help, but they refused. We had to clear the entire camp on our own, and that's why 3 of our people died. It's not like the lieutenant didn't make a mistake. He wanted to get rid of them and take over the camp, but we didn't know our enemy well enough. We were outnumbered, and they had an ice mage among them. At least we cleared the road, saved lives. Awesome. Those of us who survived the skirmish were young, too inexperienced to spend a summer in this place without a good leader, and they didn't trust me. One of them got caught by Trant. Awesome. Another one ignored my orders to perform some sort of ritual hunt, so a werebear tore her to pieces. The last one tried to act tough, didn't tell us he had cut his hand while killing his gamson. We had to cut it off, and he was so ashamed that he decided to walk north, find a new life, disappear. What a colorful journey. Barely, and who knows if it was worth the lives and effort. Awesome. Restrict order, what should I call it? Leadership succession. Ooh, excuse me. Let's have lieutenant chiefs select commanders, those select lieutenants, and those put their soldiers in order of priority. If the lieutenant dies, they get replaced by the next soldier in line. Our lieutenant was hit by a slingshot. His boyfriend jumped to help him, but failed to protect either one of them from a spell. It was like a ball of ice that hung above them and exploded, piercing their heads. What the hell? And you were the third? I didn't plan to become a leader, though. I'll get demoted once we return to the city. I'll prefer to follow anyways. You know, making the road safe, keeping people alive. Let's just say it would be nice to have a reliable outpost somewhere nearby, a place where you can always find a group of fighters willing to protect you in the name of the law. Okay, so their true job was to set up, like, a steady camp. Alright, cool. Sounds right, yeah. I don't know. Alright, story's brief. Some merchants built the camp to have an extra stop for mules and donkeys just between the inn and the southern villages. There's plenty of grass here and a pond nearby. When the peninsula grew more dangerous, the camp stood abandoned, from time to time serving as a shelter for travelers. Bandits came here in the spring, further paralyzing such exchange of information between the north and south. Since these highwaymen are no more, the situation may reverse. Time will tell. I can sleep here wherever I want, though don't expect to wake up without pain in your back. Go to the inn. Alright, cool. Though in northwest of here, you can't afford the room. The main hall is free of charge. Locals rarely gather there. The northern road is much more traveled, but the hunters will tell you about this and that, and you'll have a chance to introduce yourself. The innkeeper can listen and knows many souls. Avoid cheap jokes, stick to trade, and don't waste his time. Awesome. Open the archive. Oh, okay. So like a log. Thanks. Can you take the first watch? Splitting time between 3 people makes a great difference. Sure. I mean, should be calm at least for midnight. Wake me up in a few hours or even earlier if anything happens. Oh, what's this? You don't stand out from a crowd. You won't get much cleaner without a proper bath. Cool. Which makes you even more over how much you need a bath. After the night, it will only get worse. Your horse is already napping, still too anxious to lay down. Can horses sleep standing up? Just observe the area. There's plenty of griffins around, though they won't try to jump over the palisade. Probably. Better watch out for any apes. They climb up and carry out any food they can find, and there's this one really loud were-elk that keeps smelling the wall, though it has never tried to get in. Lieutenant and I will block the entrances. They're quite heavy, so if anyone comes here looking for shelter, better call us to help you out. And if someone is being chased by wolves or anything, better throw them a rope instead. If it gets cold, feel free to make a fire. This place is on the watchtower. Well, on their map here, there is no watchtower. You may want to put a blanket there or something. Oh. That's... a pile of crates. Just climb up to the tallest one. You have a great view of the northern side, the more dangerous side. And also, I know you're tired after all that riding. Points to the tent on the other side of the camp. I can handle a couple hours of sleeping on the ground. If you wish, go there after me and rest. Just this once, at least I have a pallet inside. Yeah, sure, I'll continue being friendly. Why not? That just changed. You pull your blanket on the tallest crate, sit down. The night is warm, but the sporadic summer breeze brings gentle refreshment from time to time. Back aches. Oh, God, I'm forcing myself to keep my eyes up. I don't know why I'm so tired all of a sudden. Other than that, it's getting a bit late. Oh, well. For most of the time, you spot smaller critters and birds, but there are exceptions. At one point, you see three-horned deer trying to challenge one another. Before they clash their antlers, a two-legged dragonling appears, leading its much smaller offspring. They try to intimidate the predators with roars and aggressive head movements. After a few moments, both sides walk away slowly, not willing to risk the fight in order to admit their defeat. Yeah, gotta keep focusing. Death screams of distant prey and mating calls of monkeys. Runners are chasing a gray, hare, musk ox, lazily chew. Thankfully, you never have to intervene. You just sit there watching the not-so-distant forest, trying to outlast your sleepiness. Cool. Easy first watch. Your job starts tomorrow. The goal of my journey. Alright, explore the peninsula. Merchant Guild wants to take control of this realm. Your wardening duties are secondary. First and foremost, you need to explore the peninsula. Learn about the territory, resources, and threats. Get to know the locals, and if you can, convince them to consider negotiations with Havlevin, officials, and traders. Could the tribes resist the soldiers or be a threat to the priests of the United Church? Are there any forbidden practices that need to be eradicated, such as blood magic, necromancy, robbery, or slavery? Alright, so I already know there are necromancers to the north, northwest. I myself am a pagan. I chose, so that's not great. Need to be as thorough as I can in 40 days. Once you finish your reconnaissance, you should speak with Tulia and return to Havlevin. There you'll report back to your employers and get your reward. In the meantime, you have your own goal to pursue. What goal? Oh man, this is like my backstory. Let's see. Gather extra coin to help someone I care about. Gather coins so I can retire early and live in prosperity. Enough connections to become a major player in the Merchants Guild. Remembered as a soul who brought peace and order to this realm. Just want to help people, make the region safe for the locals and newcomers alike. Need to find a new life for myself. I just want to help people. I just want to be a good guy here. New shelter unlocked. Alright, cool. Can't travel during the night. Press sleep button to rest. Your half-sleep senses are catching the sounds of the wild forest. Your instincts keep you alert and anxious, though the pleasant, humid late summer air evens it out slowly. Think about your goal, but you need to gather your strength. Absolutely, we'll sleep. So, what is that? Oh, that's my magic. You can spend the night in a borrowed tent. It's nothing special, but it will protect you from the wind and rain, and the ground won't be painfully hard nor cold. Alright. Day 1 is complete. Take a look at your amulets. For most people, they would be nothing more than trash, but you wouldn't sell them for a pouch of dragon bones. Shape Pneuma to your will with these little mementos. The few spells you're familiar with are far more reliable. Who knows, maybe there's already some power held in them. You look at the old, though clean bandages. Remember dozens of herbal balms and wounds. You can put them on your hurting muscles, bruises, and scratches, then hum an old song about time, which either heals all wounds or kills us too soon to let us bother with our problems. Hold on, what? I need to reread that. Alright, cool. After a few hours or so, the linen will warm up, confirming it did its job. Okay, I've got 3 or 5. Let's not use any Pneuma yet. I don't want to waste it. Ooh. Oh no. Alright, both soldiers are standing nearby a humble pyre. The man in the shirt looks at it contemplatively. Tulia is the first one to address you. Oh, cool. We used the horse's manure for the flame, so don't worry about cleaning it up. You see a corpse among the flames. It's impossible to tell if it belongs to a male or female, but it was an adult. did I just say? Wrong button. Archive. Oh. Okay. A traveler or an undead? The latter. An undead. Cool. A young one. She lacked the pneuma to understand that she couldn't get inside the camp without climbing. I stabbed her with a spear from a safe distance. One more fog and she'd be a real threat. Even now, it took a couple of hits to knock her down. Sooner or later, every human shell wakes up, gaining more strength with each soul it devours and each moment it spends in the fogs. Burning the dead is not just a religious practice, it's a necessity. Soldiers, priests, village mayors, even road wardens. Making a large pyre takes a lot of time, but it saves lives. She called it a she. Most Unites hesitate to do so. Find us here if you need us, or if you learn what happened to Asterion. There's enough ground here for you to rest. Safe travels. These words make you stop. An old farewell, mocked in a number of songs and tales, but yet you hear no discord in Tulia's voice. Wonder how many acts of kindness like this one you're going to experience in the days to follow. Cool. Use the travel button to see the map and move to another area. You somehow miss the fact that your mount's already saddled and warmed up. Huh. Soldiers are diligent. Put on your gambeson and make sure that the axe is tightly attached to your belt. Get in the saddle. Pull off your knickers, ready to leave. It's time for you to get to the crossroads north from here. Alright, let's look at this map. Oh god. Oh, that is such a small piece of the map. Travel forward to continue your journey. Once you're done with the north, speak to Tulia. So I have a lot to explore. That's exciting. Ooh. Even at a later hour, you wouldn't expect to meet any travelers in the valley. The warm summer breeze lures your mount forward, but the serene chirping of birds is quickly replaced by the distracting screeches and gurgles coming from further down the path. You soon find the pack of four-legged griffins. They're larger than foxes and merge the feathers of birds and furred beasts. Merge the features of birds and furred beasts. Each one is a different size, coat, and color, and their temperaments are just as varied. Their fronts are covered with vivid feathers, while their rears have darker fur. Wings are massive, making them impressive jumpers, but they're too heavy to fly. Okay. That's a different take on griffins than normal, I guess. Or at least from what I know. About 24 beasts are yelling, bawling, and chasing each other around, blocking your path. Alright, here are my options. You can enter the forest blindly. If these or other creatures were to chase after you, the thicket would be disastrous for your horse. There's a reason why travelers stay close to the main roads as possible, and why adventurers move in groups. Usually the safest approach would be to stay where you are and just wait for the pack to get hungry. It may, however, take up to a couple hours. You're thinking about your conversation with Tulia. You've got a lot to do, and time may be of the essence. Okay, so the dice icon marks the actions that involve a random choice. Ooh. Okay, so because I rested, that's charged up. So, what, grab your name in the shape of a missile of light. Okay, cool. Yeah, sure. Let's do that. Learn more about your abilities in your character sheet. Oh my god, that's so much. Okay, hold on. Alright, spells. You can spend pneuma to overcome. Yeah, healing ritual. Cool. Cool, I look disgusting. Okay. Combat, none. Spared animals, none. I spare no animals. Pagan. Cool. Faith undetermined. Lies, none. Sewing experience. Gambling experience. Wild. Alright. You grab one of the oldest amulets. A pendant made of leather and a single dim pearl. The little sphere is covered by cryptic engravings, but if there's any special meaning behind them, you were never able to find out what it could be. So we literally are just like raw dogging this magic. Holding the pearl between your fingers, you feel the pleasant familiar warmth. The spell you're about to cast is not much more than a mere illusion, but you take a couple breaths trying to minimize any risk of failure. The pneuma leaves your shell, formed into a white ball that you barely comprehend. When it falls next to the griffins, for a couple of blinks it emits dazzling light. The animals squeak and snarl, fleeing in multiple directions. The road's now clear. Perfect. The next challenge requires 5 Newman. I have none now. Hey! I used to be a mage. Am I not still a mage? The road splits. According to what the soldier told you, you may find a safe inn by turning left. The forest to the right is lush. The trail is overgrown. Kids used to have this song. How did it go? The harshest pathway leads to the dragon's lair. Those who search for treasure, do they truly dare? All right. The signpost in front of you doesn't make your situation much clearer. It was put here by someone who can't write, for folks who can't read. That is currently my favorite line of this game. It was put here by someone who can't write, for folks who can't read. Covered in old red paint, it points east. Blood there, as people say. Danger can be found. Oh, okay, cool. There's not a soul to ask for guidance. So, oh, what's my horse's name? Oh, shit. Let's call him... I'm blanking on a name. And if I blank for too much longer, I'm just going to call him Horse. The name escaped me. Horse is peaceful as you stroke its mane. Maybe it can't help you choose a path, but you've spent many years together. Happy to go on. It takes a couple steps forward. Spot a few berry shrubs and wild cabbages, but they still need at least 2 weeks to gain maturity. Okay, so I can remember that there was food here in 2 weeks. Let's go west, because that's where the inn was. A horse trots with ease, unbothered by the few branches covering the beaten road. Birdsong and distant howls draw your attention to the forest, which gets sparser and brighter. Spot boar, roe deer, and saurians. The sight of a near-dying wolf pack worries you, but once you push your hips forward and your palfrey enters a canter, the beasts don't even begin a pursuit. The speed alone will protect you from many dangers. Notice a stone tower taller than the trees. Inns like this one fit the regions traveled by merchants, but you wouldn't expect a place of this size in a forsaken peninsula. That's what, 2 stories. 1, 2, 3, 4. You can guess like 5 rooms. The stone and lumber must have been transported from far away, and the workers, guarded by expensive mercenaries, surely lived for many seasons in a primitive hamlet subsisting on salted supplies. Seemingly no cracks in the wall, and the building was whitewashed only a few years back. The road is wide and beaten. Dozens of souls could hide, if not in the building, then at least in the yard. The expenses and labor put into this fortress were worth many trading ships. 3 armed people are on the ramparts, though you only see what's above their waistline, leaning on the parapet, like of the wall, right next to the gate. And you think you notice a glimpse of a smile. They wear gambesons, each one of them dyed differently, yellow, green, and linen gray. The woman in yellow leans forward. She has long, curly, disorderly red hair, pointing in every possible direction. This combination of colors doesn't work at all. In the woods, one would have to shout to draw this much attention. There's still a fair distance between the two of you, but she speaks loudly. I haven't seen a horse for years now. I just say that it's weird to see such a large jackass, huh? Wow, that's just mean. Voice is young and strong, with an accent that reminds you of the village spread around Havlin. But no jackass would wear a saddle, I'd say. A few words of the male guard wearing green, giving you time to move closer. This one here says there really are donkey saddles. Say, traveler, how hard is it to ride a horse? I'm not, no. Not saying she should give it a try. Never offer my horse to the person. Get off your horse and imitate a silly walk from the day that followed your first long journey, when your whole shell was crying. You illustrate the pain as you move your hand from your back to your hips. Okay, cool, that's a long joke. You may be in a good mood, but don't get so noisy when you talk to our boss. The man never smiles. He has the world's suffering sculpted on his face. Awesome. Once you're ready to go inside, speak to our boss. Maybe you're hungry. Cool. They peek your mount every now and then as they're splitting firewood, cleaning their clothes, weeding the garden patches, and moving chairs, to them making a rope. Head toward the inn, hearing the piercing scream of a boar from the other side of the yard. I was wrong. It's 3 rooms. Locked windows make the air stuffy, and a weak fire in the stove hardly lightens up the hall. A muscular man is sweeping the floor near the stairs, but after he glances at you, he leans the broom against the wall and heads behind the counter. If you're in an inn in the morning, you can spend the entire day on resting? That's cool, but like, why would I do that? You're lucky to show up. I had a keg of decent ale. Wormwood, bog myrtle, juniper berries, and cat's foot. It's going to spoil soon. Today, maybe, and we don't drink here before the even. I hate to see the good stuff going to waste. His skin is dark, almost purple, rare even among the southern tribes, and his hair is naturally bluish. Clothes are quite fancy for manual labor. Elegant tunic wouldn't stand out in the city square. The planks let out a creak after every step you make, so you slow down a bit. You could swear that the innkeeper made little to no noise, which goes with the whole some theory years ago. It was like honestly, it was a Tumblr thing that I saw. It was like the reason that people always look when the mysterious stranger walks in and steps on the creaky board is because all the locals and regulars know about the creaky board, so they avoid it. Let's see. Here you go, push the mug forward. But just so you know, my pelt of the north doesn't belong to Haviland. You can sleep on the floor if you wish so, but if you want a bed or meal, you have to pay. You may have some leftovers from dinner, but I'd need to check. Alright. From time to time, your conversation is interrupted by a splash of dirty water in a wooden bucket. Nothing's truly free. I have work for a soul of the road, but I don't need a new mouth to babble. I value my time. You should value yours. I'm saying, sure, I'll drink free ale. Darker moon walls of the mug make the liquid look as brown as a chestnut. The lee in spring hits your nose, and the first sip is even too complex, too flowery. When the brewer has used fancy ingredients, the exotic licorice ruins the aftertaste. Licorice always ruins the taste. Now you know why there's so much left. Maybe it's an acquired taste. I was hoping to see someone willing to patrol the roads. Maybe you'll help me with a worrying thought I have. There are brigands in the woods. Our place is a stronghold, so I'm not afraid of an open strike. They've gotten more active in the last 2 years. One day, they may steal our furs, and I have no doubt they're the reason why merchants come here only once. Having bandits gets expensive. I want you to reach Howler's Dell, northwest from here. It's the largest settlement around. I'm sure you'll get there sooner or later. Ask Thace, the mayor, about Glossia, that bloodthirsty wolf of a woman. I've heard rumors about a raid in the north. If Glossia is ready to break the truce with the locals, I'm willing to join forces with them to get rid of her band. He looks at a nearby dragon bone. Not too difficult, right? Just do it when you have a chance. A couple days won't make much of a difference. I'll pay you 2 coins when you get back with the news. Fine? Yeah, sure. Why not? Alright. Ooh, that's not good. Um. All right, looking for a Styrian. He goes to the table, invites you to sit down with him. I don't think I'm going to be much help, but I do want you to find him. Styrian and I made a risky deal, a very promising one. Last time he was here, he took 50 coins, my half of the investment. If you get my coin, or at least find out what happened to the guy, make sure you won't be disappointed after bringing the news. Could be that he stole it and just ran away. I just think Asterion ain't the kind of soul that would do such a thing. For him, it wasn't much of a fortune. How many coins do I have? Like 5? And I'd risk saying he had earned my trust. Not only mine, you know. It's easy for a Roadwarden to make connections. He always had places to go, things to take care of. I've asked travelers. I've set up a couple of my pals to find him. No real news. I know he stayed in White Marshes for a day and was meant to do something for the people there. It's a village in the northwest. So that's the direction I'm going. Just stay on the main road until you reach the bogs, then enter them. You'll get there before dusk. So let me know once you find anything, and we may yet return to this whole investment thing. Cool. Built long before we arrived. It didn't work out well for the previous owners. Once the war ended, they left. Not enough travelers, bad trade. The villages stick to themselves. We, however, came prepared, and now we're prospering. When you ask him how you can afford all these supplies, he runs his fingers through his dark hair. I'm not against running an inn, but we don't rely on guests. We're the one doing all the trading. My hunters are a clever bunch and stay safe in the forest in exchange for furs, claws, and bones. We get what we need and more, both from the south and the north. We have a good life here. We spent a whole lot on armor, crossbows, lumber, and spears. But in another 10, maybe 20 years, we'll have enough savings to move to Hamilton and not work for another day in our lives. We take risks, but smartly. Team is stronger than ever, and I have big plans for us. I don't really care about either of these questions, so. Alright, let's learn about Glossia. Alright, cool. I don't like to talk about people only nearby. Okay. You know, I'd call everything from here to the coast the hunting ground, but it's not us who hunt. Keep that in heart, but the beasts in all shapes and forms. His words gained confidence slowly, which is strengthened by his deep voice. I've lived in this inn for over 10 years now, and I've only seen a couple of roads, a couple of places. It's just once you get here and you see how harsh it is to hit the road, you have only more reason to stay at your warm stove behind a wall, even if it's suffocating. I'm sure you've heard a lot already that the people don't build hamlets anymore, there are no more ibexes from the south, and the traders stay only for a few days. All of our iron is used for cauldrons, not swords or tools. Hills nearby to the west, when you find a village, maybe an hour away from here. It was destroyed by beasts almost a decade ago, nothing to see there. The goblins live there now, so most people just travel around it. And they say it's haunted, but who knows? Who cares? You'll get to a large tree on the edge of the swamp. For the locals, it's sacred. You're not used to hearing someone mention pagans if there's nothing unusual about them. There's a small path to the south which leads to an old mine in the mountains. Nothing to find there. Keep running north and you'll find Howler's Dell. Farmers live there, and mouflons and druids. Don't know what a mouflon is. They'll let you stay for a night, but they're not cheap. If anyone thinks my prices are bad, it means they ain't been to the Ape Ale Inn yet. Cool. Old Pagos. So they ain't too fertile, so they work in their quarry and help other settlements build things in exchange for crops. The forests and hills aren't too harsh, but the seekers have a small monastery nearby in the mountains. I don't care much about them. They keep to themselves and they don't pay well. Third village is unknown to me. White Marshes set in the bogs. I've heard it smells like Griffin's Lair. I've heard a lot of nasty rumors about the place, but I won't share them. I don't want to be a lie spreader. Valid. So 3 villages really. Howlers, the one near the monastery, whatever it's called, and Marshes. Don't let their beds and palisades fool you. Weird people live there. Don't tell them more than you need to. Cool. And then the eastern roads, which are weird and bad. Don't leave the main road, I'd say. Not so far from here, you find an old dolmen. A few of my people had to spend a night there, and the monkeys stole food and gods from their bag. It was their fault. One of them had fallen asleep in the middle of his watch, but you know. Eastern forests are wild, the roads are rough. Almost no soul lives there. One day all these roads will be swallowed by the trees again. Furthest my team has ever gone was the home of the Enchantress. Stay on track until you reach the crossroads. And there, turn east. Recognize the place. It's a nice home in a lonely meadow surrounded by a wall. Kind of like our wall, but simpler, without coating. She lives as a hermit, Eudocia. I don't even know how she survives there, but if you don't have a decent coin, you won't find much there. Cool. So back at the crossroads, if you turn left, you'll see a road. People stay away from it. It connects the tower and the monastery, a shortcut between the two sides of the peninsula. I was warned by the locals not to use it. It already belongs to the beasts. I only know about another inn to the far north. It's far from here, maybe a day on foot, a bit less from the eastern side. I've never been there, but I've heard it's a safe place close to villages of fishers and hunters, though I don't know much about them. Cool. So I have 5 coins. Let's... Nice for a sleeping spot. Just as nice for a wall. An almost untouched bowl of soap. Priceless for a traveler. Made of fine oak ash. Strong, though you should have some better supplies before you start your own bathhouse. I thought the redhead said that he wasn't big on jokes. After you mentioned you'd like something more useful on the roads, he looks down. I don't have any blades or armor to spare, but if you pay well, you can take one of our crossbows and a bunch of quarrels. A yew-bow, wool cords, and the trigger needs just a little bit of oil. It's as good as you can get without soaking it in magic. I can do magic. It takes a bit of muscle to draw, but even a 16-year-old could handle it. I won't sell it cheap, but I'm ready to give a discount to a helpful ally. Cool. So I'll keep that. 30. Oh my god. Cool. I'll buy. Ooh. Oh, 3 filling meals that won't spoil anytime soon for 1 coin. Okay, cool. Does he have any leftovers? Feed him to our boar. I won't give them away for nothing. Alright, that's cool. Go through the gate and turn left. You'll see a bunch of bushes. We need some berries. Bring me a bucket full. It'll be done in half an hour or so. Your horse could use a nap anyways. And I'll prepare something for you. The hook is not made of metal or wood. It's long. Cool. Yeah, sure. I need to make friends here, so I have to do all the things. Tools are cold, not too heavy. Notice a pair of thick gloves at the bottom of the bucket. The berries are not a problem, unlike the snakes. The little ones won't eat you, but don't get bitten. I'm sure you know how to be patient. Cool. Let's, I'm just gonna... Horse is pawing the ground. We're coming from the armorer's workshop. I'll do the armor later. I'm gonna go get the berries first. You put on the gloves and look in the bushes. They're round and reddish. You wouldn't trust such a color even if you were looking for food in the wilderness. Plants don't have thorns, but the leaves are harsh, so you make sure to thoroughly cover your skin with your clothes. You have to look through many bushes to fill the bucket, but the presence of insect snakes doesn't allow you to relax. Cool. Oh, so that goes, okay. East to west. Got it. 2 more guards are participating in 2 of the guards are participating in a friendly skirmish. Their wrestling is accompanied by a crowd. I'm just gonna... Boom. Heck yeah, look at that. I got a cabbage stew with a few goose chunks for you. I'd serve it even to merchants if there were any around. Hey. So like I said, I rarely have food to spare, but feel free to ask if you ever stop by. You may be lucky. I've been cooking my whole life. Heck yeah, thanks. And how did that old hook of mine work out for you? I see you still have your hands. Yeah, I'll give it back. I don't need the hook. Alright, yeah. So that's about all I can do in here. Let's talk to the guards. Brown-hairy boar, which is resting on its side. The beast is not as large as the dark ones from the forest. It responds to the shit out of human's hands. So there's like a pet boar. It's still tethered to the well, and you have no doubts that its charge would leave a horse dead in a breath. Cool. Time the new Roadwarden. We don't need anything now, but when we travel with our furs, we can use some assistance. Maybe around 30, but her warm voice and bright smile are camouflaging the touch of time on her unpowdered face. Hey now, 30's not that old. Now 30 and living in the woods in a horrifying hellscape, that would be taxing on your appearance. Like many red-haired people with freckles, her skin is unhealthily pale. Boar runs up to her, observing your boots and fruitlessly sniffing for food beneath the beaten ground. She passes back, but maintains focus. How about a game or two? We have a bit of time. Sure, let's play dice. Your arrival, and especially the dragon bone you pull out, are cheerfully welcome. Okay, so the coins are called dragon bones. Noted. Two of the guards bring a table from the inn. Another one prepares a couple stools. But the other hunters are either sleeping or of duty at the tower. Remember, no magic, says one of the players. Ooh, okay. Deadly serious. Game is easy, but in no baffling way. 4 people can play at once. The wooden dice are long, with only 4 dotted faces. Every time someone wins a round, they get a point, and the person with the most points at the end of the game wins all the coins. As you play, you feel like you don't have much control over the results. Cool. Alright, so people are vague. The drinks are here. It's poor man's beer made from the leftovers after the regular brewing. It's cold, sweet, and doesn't reach your head. You try to avoid the smell. Just don't spill anything. The boar may get sick. In just a few minutes, you get 2 points, which are now represented by smooth pebbles. You don't really know how you got them. Either you don't get the strategy, or it's just pure luck. You gotta, toss these dice with, a bit of backspin. Hey! During the final round, you get ahead of everyone, and the spectators playfully comment on your moves. The winner takes all. 3 dragons are placed on the table, and you put them into your pouch quickly. Tables and chairs to move back into the building, and the guard in yellow armor thanks you for playing. Is there anything you need? Let's see. Heart of the Woods. Someone hunts south from there. There are good hunting grounds on the western half. The second one is too overgrown. Maybe the soil is different, but it's a risky spot. There are treants there and wolves, even the furless ones. Furless wolves. Cool. And if you have to go through the tall grasses, watch out for what's on the ground. There ain't many archers in the trees, but there are too many worms, even larger than a water leech. Can I get a name? Ah. Alright, fine. Usually forged by ourselves, but he wouldn't ask you for a dragon for a meal. He gives small jobs to people all the time just to see who agrees to do them, wants to judge who's of use and who's too proud for their own good. Yeah, see? I'm being helpful. I'm good. Can she? Okay, cool. Okay. Stronghold was built long before we moved in and not to fight off humans. Meant to use by those who observe the deep woods. We look out for fires, dragons, and any winged creatures that are looking to roost on the roof. Baldy has a great eye and sees well even in the dark. Everything lives here. I swear we saw a few dragons, a unicorn family, a battle between trolls and a goblin, faced 2 beastmen, and a gargoyle, and a hunting queen, shouts all... Oh, and a gargoyle, and a hunting queen shouts all the time. I could tell you about them, but I won't. You know hunters have their secrets. So they brought the boar to be backup meat. Perfect. Trotswell went straight into the place. We haven't needed to eat it so far, but it's also funny. I learned in my home village that the farm boars are getting a bit smaller and more cuddly, kind of like ibexes. So it's not such a wild, dangerous beast, but we don't let him get close to other animals. Or children. Partridge, squirrel, rat, we can't complain. Deers and aurochs are delicious, but we don't always look for taste alone. There's value in bones, antlers, claws, tusk. Tools called cool. Don't really go to those regions. We stay close to home, only sometimes move south or west to Howler's Dell, but only to trade. They're fine with buying more than they need since they then take their wares to the coast. I've never even seen a beach, and I've been living here for how many? More than 10 years. The only part of the sea I've seen was from Old Pagos, which is placed on a hill. I've never put a toe in salt water. But Old Pagos is a good place. As long as you don't mock their order and act nice, they'll also be kind. Boss says they're too serious for him to stand them. Boss says they're too serious for him to stand them, but at least they don't bite without a reason. Necromancers! I've never been to White Marshes, but over the years we've seen people moving away from there south. They told us that the place has changed too much. A priest died, and the new one awakens the dead. Cool. So I'm more likely than not going to have to deal with him. Alright. Deal with that later. Let's go to the armor. Walk past the well and find a small open shed, not unlike the stables. Okay, cool. Talk to the kid. Oh, cool. This teacher passes Nate. But we both ain't masters, see? He said safe. Let's meet in the middle. Boring, but safe. Cool. Just points at the lace in front of your jacket, raises his clenched fist to his shoulder, then gently spreads and lowers them as if he's taking off a robe. He follows command and allows him to properly inspect your gambeson. He gives it back, then reaches for a pouch, pulls out one dragon bone, shrugs, then another one, and waves both of them in the air, pursing his lips. Makes a few speech-like noises with them, groaning. What sounds like, I don't know. Okay, in 1 hour, your jacket will be carefully patched up. Oh wait, do I have to wait an hour for that, though? Can you patch up my clothes if they're ripped? Shakes his head and points at the uneven seams on his own tunic. It's like, no, what the fuck do you think I can do here? Oh, and it has a broken needle. Alright, cool. Hold on. Did he take my... No, I've got it. Let's go to the well, sure. Oh, no, I already... Won't get any cleaner. Okay. So if I... It's what, 1? Sure. I got 3 from the thing, so... That's all I need. Let's try it again. I washed my shell. Boom! Look at that. And I lost the soap from that. Cool. Travel set. Okay. Hold on. So do I just have that now? Or is that a consumable? I don't know. So it is 11 and a half hours for dusk. I guess it's time to... Yeah, wild creatures, armor. Yeah, cool. So let's travel again. Let's go. Let's keep going west. The road uphill meanders, slowing you down and forcing you to pay close attention not only to the shadows of the trees, but also the tight rocky passage. You can't help but notice a few caves and fine ambush spots. Let's keep an eye. I still got 4 magic points. Ooh, new location. This is the Goblin Village. Standing in the front gate, you hear no voices, no tools at work, no steps. Dozens of birds live among the collapsed roof. Their fluttering, singing, and squawking is free of worries. If you want to travel any further, you need to ride around the palisade. Searching the ruins may take a lot of time. The broken gate to the north will lead you to the village. The sound of a gentle river reaching you from the east, where you see a saggy fence surrounding an overgrown pasture. Behind the burnt building in the east, you see an oddly barren field. Take a look at the gate. Oh wait, journal. Oh my god, so many things. Okay, cool. Okay. Help others. Okay. Let's check the building. Broken logs are black to charred, while the wooden walls are rotted and covered in moss. You see no ashes or dust, proving that the fire happened long ago. The smell is awful, and there's no reason to stay for long. You see no furniture, just some broken shelves. It was just a storage room. The valuable odds and ends were already taken by the scavengers. Sure. Don't find a single sign of life. Great. Is this okay? So 10:45. Like, is it using? Alright, great. Ooh. Surrounded by what looks like a field plowed in late autumn, disturbed by hundreds of rains and snowfalls. There's a few clumps of grass and wheat, but a place like this one, abandoned for years, should already have turned itself into a green lea. A barren field, maybe it was overused, but you would still expect the weeds to sprout. A curse? The path leading west from here ends at the edge of the field, shifting into a meadow, then a forest. In the north, you see a path leading around the palisade. Oh, wait, no. Hold on. Return. I want to see... Cool. I do have time to investigate. We had 10 hours. So let's check it out. Unpack your wooden spears, pleasantly smooth and light. Tire set fits in the palm of your hand. You place them in various spots, marking their position by sticking a branch in the soil. All you can do now is wait, so you brush horse for a bit and make sure the saddle doesn't bother him. When you return to gather your amulets, all of them are much warmer to your skin. The entire field is corrupted, though seeing how there were already some plants growing from it, the spell is fading away. The curse is most likely as old as the last harvest. What? So that's at a painful groan. I'm nourished. Southwest part of the village. Okay. Spot claw marks on the walls, especially close to the doors and window frames. They could belong to a dragonling or large wolf, larger than the gray ones, or a corpse eater. Too many options. Well, they said the goblins took over here, right? So, find the remains of clothes, furniture, odds and ends. Only one object seems to be used, a basket-like fish trap made of vines and willow branches. If a large fish swims into it, it won't be able to get out. Can I? Oh, cool, I got a fish trap. Closer you are to the village, the longer you stay around, the sicker you feel. The taste of gastric juices hits your mouth, your forehead hurts, and you start to stumble. Horace, worried by the sight, pokes your head. Yeah, no, I'm getting out of here. Can I inspect the palisade in the west? Not get sick? Tracks of human footwear and many, many more ape footprints cover the path around the palisade's breach. As far as you can tell, the freshest footprints lead to the village. The wooden stakes spread on the ground are rotten, covered in mushrooms, small flowers, insects, and worms, a good source of animal or goblin food, though you'd expect them to also hunt for birds and eggs. The meadow in the west turns into a forest quickly. The grasses in the north surround dozens of tree stumps already covered with moss and fungi. Going south, you reach a large field, though you don't see any crops. Not entering the forest, that would be dumb. I don't want to go back there because that's where I got sick, so I guess we'll just, Can I not, hold on. Oh, okay. So I thought there was a path around the palisade. That was minutes, you lead a horse. Am I still... Oh, I've lost 45 minutes. No. I've lost an hour and a half. An hour and 15 minutes. I can do time. Lush... Wooden potential disaster in case of a hoof falling into an animal den. Yeah. Most of the tree trunks look similar and have a comparable size. They were most likely planted with the sole purpose of being cut down and used by the locals. Though cutting so many trees at once, that alone could provoke the wrath of the herds. Such a process should be spread carefully across a couple seasons, and you can't be sure that was the case. In the west and north, the clearing turns into the forest. In the east, you see a road leading north. Yeah, let's get out of here. Let's just take a look at the gate. Cool. Head to the rear. Okay, cool. Do I have to go all the way around that way? Couldn't I go that way? That looks walkable. Cool. Something, sickle. Cool. On the opposite bank, the meadow turns into a thick forest, impenetrable for a rider. Do I want to do the fish trap here? Oh, I can just travel now. Oh, because I've made my way around. Okay, so ruins and fish. So that tells me the things I can get at the different locations. Cool. Oh, and the map key. Oh, and he would be a tailor if I repair his needle. Sure. I need 3 pieces of bathing equipment to get more out of this place. Cool, don't need that. Do I want to set up a fish trap here? Let's not yet. Let's wait until I've explored some more. Enter the wetlands with their many streams, ponds, and fish. Large birds run and fly between the gray sparse trees. They're covered with moss, mushroom, and critters. For a human, it may be an unwelcoming and harsh realm, but the overwhelming swarms of insects prove that it's a realm full of life. The danger, with teeth and claws, is hidden below the water's surface. Absolutely stay away from the banks. This plant shouldn't be alive, not without leaves. Oh, the tree, you mean? It doesn't resemble the other trees in the wetlands. It's something else. Well, it looks like a tree. Get off your horse and prepare your axe. The water is filled with dirt and dead plants, and it smells like an old corpse. The roots are spreading far. Breaking through the water's surface, you don't see any saurians in the grasses or on the shore. You approach the table-like altar made of 3 limestone slabs where the rock was originally as formless as they are now. God, excuse me. Oh, were these rocks originally as formless as they are now, or was there a point in time centuries ago where they were precisely shaped and decorated by masters of artistry? There's no way to tell. Horse is peacefully observing the dark grass and slapping flies with its tail. Whatever it is that you feel in the air, it's clear that your companion sees this place through very different eyes. Let's... I don't want to send him off on his own. You know what I can do, though? Quick save! Let's look at the water. Without knowing how deep it gets, we have to consider that a saurian can be camouflaged in the mud, waiting for a victim to go near. Since we don't plan to kneel down and drink, you're hoping to dodge a potential strike. As you get closer, you start breathing again. While the water is dirty, it's also shallow. You see the vegetation, swimming insects, small fish. All of them stay away from the tree roots, which look like a spider web covering the bottom of the pond. Take a look at the roots. It's brown, covered with hair that resembles that on your arm. When you touch it, it's moist and soft and warmer than you'd expect. I'm gonna leave. I don't want to screw with that. Clumped dirt in the uneven nicks, fused by years of winds and rain. The bottom surface of the table is dusty, but you don't find spiderwebs or mold, even though it's a perfect spot. Tree roots cling to the altar in many spots. They're firmly attached. You struggle to move them even an inch. The cream-colored limestone is smooth and cold. I mean, there's gotta be magic in the altar, right? There's gotta be. So let's not worry about. I'm not gonna use another one yet, because I still haven't made it to the next town. How about? Can I make an offering? Oh. No. And you give nothing. Let's, you know what? Let's do the magic. Approach the altar. Next through, blah, blah, blah. When you return to collect the amulets, only the one placed on the rock hasn't changed its temperature. The others are cold. The others are cold. The closer they are to the tree roots, the cooler they are, almost painfully so. This is not what was supposed to happen. If the objects are filled with magic, the spears get warmer. If not, they stay in their original state. But this, you've never seen such a reaction. I don't like... So it drains magic. Interesting. Definitely don't want to stay here long then. Oh shoot, which direction did he say? We're gonna go south. The shapes of mountains are cutting through the horizon. Water is getting gradually less muddy. The cleaner it gets, the more animals you see. A family of deer block the road. Cool. You consider riding around them through the sparse meadow, but your presence also causes them to disquiet. Without much haste, they regroup and run into the east to the leafy forest. Oh, I don't want to continue forward. Okay, cool. I don't like the name of that. The Hag Hills. Walls of stone that has blocked the city's grasp. The one well-established route through them leads to a valley where you found Tullia's camp. There are no maps in the highlands. Okay, hold on. Reach the Hag Hills, the wall of stones that has blocked the city's grasp. The one well-established route through them leads through the valley where you found Tullia's camp. There are no maps of the highlands, nor local tribes, only stories. The beaten path leads you by the garden beds of herbs and vegetables to an old yet not abandoned mine, hidden behind a massive door made of steel. A bearded, skinny elder sits on a bench observing you like a sculpture. with his legs crossed and fingers interlocked on his abdomen. Cool. Yeah. Only worms too stupid to understand me would eat what's mine. Oh, jeez. Just mount and mention that your palfrey is no worm, but the man reprimands you with a thick accent. Let me see you whilst you speak. I can neither hear without I can hear without magic, but I'll read your lips. He doesn't yell, but his voice reminds you of a combat instructor from the city. His face is wrinkled, but he sits straight, with beard and hair still carrying a glimpse of fair blonde. He's tanned like a worker, and his eyes are blue and piercing as if they belong to an infant. You're nay from here, and I will now welcome a stranger in this refuge. Say what you're looking for and be gone. Sure, stories of your ancestors. Ponder about this unusual vigor in the unguarded garden. He may be a spiritual leader of a pagan community, most likely a spellcaster. Druids try to protect others from nature's wrath by teaching them to respect the laws of balance and restraint. Different tribes develop their own traditions, but you know that in this province, such priests prefer to be addressed as forest speakers. Sure. What do you call him? Example, old man. What do I call him? Sir? Stares off across the garden bed, forcing you to wait in silence. The elder is tall, with long hair, a beard that was let loose a long time ago. His sandals are covered with dust, and you spot dirt on his clothes and skin. The woolen tunic and linen were made of with care. Okay, cool. Maybe I should have called him, what a forest speaker. I probably should have called him forest speaker. That would have been. Such is the fate of all dreamers. Are you going to look for him? Why? If he's vanished into the fogs, there's no point in putting yourself in danger. What do you expect to find? Playful glimpse of light, and you just want the truth for its own sake, with Naya gain behind it. His laughter was chilling. I heard he'd put his hand into many storms. Which will they end without him? I do not doubt people will value the knowledge. The peninsula could use some, honestly. With lively steps, he heads towards the spring. He washes his hand once again, forcing you to wait. Oh boy, so many options. Actually, I want to see, what does it say about? Cool. It says nothing about what's here. The Elder's Cave. Is it Forest Speaker? Voice of the forest guards the soul. The voice of the forest guards the soul carries. Those who bow to the trees will not suffer from wild creatures. You've made the decision to learn our customs, and I appreciate it. 'Tis now my goal to turn people into strangers. Awesome! We're now not friendly, but at least he's not gonna be a dick, hopefully. Have you met Astarion? He wanders among the garden beds, from time to time, touching the leaves at hand. He was here more than once. He was nigh one to stand aside and let the events play out by themselves. I don't know what accent any of this is, but seeing the nay and n, it's just throwing me off into a weird accent. The villagers from the north are sometimes in need of my assistance, and Asterion is serving them as a messenger. He bends down and tears away a small flowerless plant. He wanted to settle down among these roads, maybe to live freely. He had great plans and wanted to make this realm flourish, to rebuild the ruins, get rid of brigands, and clear the trade route. I told him that the forest needs 9 more people, and that this realm is too wild to feed and clothe anyone. His greed and dreams have eaten him, and now he is 9 more. He pauses, and you can hear his heavy breathing as if he's getting tired. He straightens up. And that's that, traveler. If you wanted to look for a shell, travel north, far north. People there should know where he is. Cool. Your eye sees what there's to know. People found copper in a cave. It's been abandoned for a long time now, so we turned it into a shelter to stay close to the sacred tree and its altar. Glad I didn't futz with the tree. So we turned it into a shelter. I already read that. We're servants, my wife and I, and this place is nothing more than a servant's house. His raised voice makes him sound like a preacher. One day, me and my wife will be but defenseless old people. But we've studied pneuma and leaves for many decades. I heal wounds and illnesses of humans and animals alike, and the beasts listen to our whispers. The holy seed lets our shells wait for death in strength. What can you tell me about the peninsula? I've lived here for almost a century. Traveled both by the pass and through the wilderness. But I will not be your guide or a teacher, and if there's anything I can wish for, it is that you stay away from the woods. The creatures get angry the more we take from them. They do not listen to our warnings, and one day they'll bury us under a storm of claws and fangs. There will be nice soul to spare a tear after us. His eyes are harsh as a hawk's, making him look like a priest who hears a child ask for honey on a day of ceremonial fasting. Do not poke a hornet's nest, do not ride east, and never use the path that runs through the heart of this land. This road was meant to save time, but brings only death. Be a servant, not an observer. Do not try to bend this place to your will. Points at you and wags his finger after every word. Your will, anyone's will, is the key to danger, not salvation. Cool. Yeah, I don't want to mess with anything here. I'm just here to make sure that people don't die, I guess. Heard about bandits. There are souls who steal from White Marshes, a village to the north. They would not dare show up here, but those brigands are brute simpletons. Ava, their leader, Glaucia, listens only to force and will humiliate for the joy of her band. She cannot be afraid of some lost Roadwarden. Awesome. Lets go of his beard and lowers his head. She's drifted so far away from her old self, a kind, bright girl from Gale Rocks. Loved by her parents, but now do not cross her or she'll find you. Great. Tell me about the altar. 'Tis the tree that you should pay attention to. The true gift from the forest. It answers to our offering and rewards us with the magnificent fruits. They heal both shell and soul and make anyone who eats them stronger than they ever were. We gather around this altar whenever the winter ends, and whilst it requires a painful sacrifice from all of us, it prepares one's soul for the future like nothing ever could. Awesome. Okay, cool. He's not willing to speak about the ruined village. This shameful tale will be kept in the past for the sake of the living. Can you tell me about the druids? I'll now share our past with strangers. We are in for the people of Howler's Dell and for the lands about it. Cool. Whew. Has a long and dark past and already caught many souls of its builders. 'Tis paved with blood, and last 10 years have revealed it was all for nothing. Since the days of grand discord, the tribes of this land are locking themselves in their fields and houses, too afraid to leave them behind, too untrusting to meet other souls unguarded. 'Tis nay the first road to be claimed back by the wilderness, and will nay be the last. You ask if he has any tips on how to survive such a trip. He tells you would be wiser to just avoid it. Aces. He then reaches into a pocket, grabs a leaf, and puts it in his mouth, chewing gently. Death may take many paths to a stranger, but cats are the one enemy that's both dangerous in its stealth as in combat. No human can fight it alone. I'm sorry, cats? We're talking like big cats, right? Because I know they're big cats, but somebody else was talking about small cats, and I'm picturing like a house cat, deadly predator kind of thing. If you see one of them and it's not too late, do not provoke it. Make it wary, but not scared. Look big, talk a lot, seek its actions in its eyes. Cool. Can I do a job? What? We have everything we need. Awesome. Can I enter the cavern? Why would I allow a stranger to do such a thing? That's a valid point, my guy. Thank you. Let's go north. You slow down among the shrubs. A small pack of dragonlings is feasting on the carcass of a great auroch. One of them, with red features on its arm, straightens up and gives you a curious glance. Its head tilts left and right, forward and back. It screeches at you but doesn't move forward and returns to its meal. Wonder what would happen if you were on foot. Would they let you be satisfied with their prey or run after you? But if so, for what reason? For now, you have enough space to move forward, yet stay safe. Cool. The powerful jaw breaks the monster's bones. I like that they're calling some of these things monsters, but like an auroch is just a big bull, cow, ox thing. Right? Pretty sure. Alright. Yeah, cool. Bites off Saul's lunch. Come eat. Keep going. Leave it alone. Don't mess with stuff in the forest, like the old man said. Beaten road serves your paw very well. The forest to your left becomes sparse and brighter, and there are dozens of human-made paths along the fruit-bearing trees. On your right, there's a large pasture, with at least a dozen massive mouflons. Two of them, already sheared, look comically small. Okay, you know what? I have to take a second. I'm looking up. What is... That's it. Boom. Can I not, yeah. Nope. There we go. Alright. Mouflon. Okay. There's just the sheep. It's a goat, ram, sheep. Native to the Caspian region from eastern Turkey. The more you know. Cool. Soon after that, you ride along vast, flourishing fields filled with rye, still green, preparing itself patiently for the second harvest. Path ends the massive wooden gate. The stone wall separating you from the glow of lights behind it isn't as tall as the roofs, but you can't imagine climbing to its top. There are pretty much no cracks, no missing bricks, a sign of many hours of labor, especially considering how massive the settlement is, as wide as a city district. The birds and monkeys are now just a distant echo, replaced with the sounds of carts, running, hammers, saws, laughters, and shouts. Let's get some rest. A young man leaning against the closed gate. Cool. He moves from the light and takes out the posture of a disciplined soldier, not a mercenary. Standing upright with his chin, there are two weapons on the ground, an axe and a club. Horse holds its tail high, because he's about to poop. Narrow path leads north. Two field workers, one with a hoe and one with a pitchfork. Can't see their faces, but their clothes are simple, gray pants and vests made from hemp and wood. Yeah, if they wave, I'm waving back. I'm not rude. They talk for a bit, looking towards you and pointing at your mount. They walk away, disappearing over the wall's cover. The guard smiles yet avoids your eyes. Everyone's avoiding my eyes. And has to clear his throat before he speaks. Welcome, traveler. If you're not here to make trouble, Hallersdale welcomes you. We have the whitest flower there is. Is that okay? When he bows, you realize it's a well-practiced performance. If it's new garments you're looking for, you can order everything you need right here in all colors, shapes, and sizes: capes, boots, vests, robes. Or if you're yourself a master of the needle, I can assure you have the fabrics you're looking for. His act is over and he glances at your mount in a moment of silence. His eyes get wider as he observes it with a childlike fascination. Yeah, I'll let the surprised person who's never seen a horse apparently see a horse. Oh. Cool. What else would it be? Even though your palfrey pays no attention to the man's careful touch, the guard grins widely. Yeah, I'm making friends. City folk, eh? The mayor's busy, but I'll ask her. Give us a moment to let you in. Which is impulse inward, but your guards, cool. The nearby buildings are simple houses made of wooden beams. Just give me a moment. The guard. Yeah, cool. That's Howler's Creek. The guard, like most of the locals, is taller than you. Great. Wide but shallow. There's not been a flood in years. Pa told me there used to be neighbors. Neighbors were crossing it with boots in their hands. And 'tis clean like a rain job, but there are named many fishes. We're the cleanest village in the north. Heck yeah. When the guard returns, he's still alone. She cannot come now. A friend of mine is in labor, eh? The mayor wants to be there when the child arrives, but I was asked to show you the village. Sure. He approaches the watchtower. Tie him out here. We'll keep the kids away. Most of the neighbors are getting ready to celebrate. God, what a horrible... If it's a trap, I'll get him first. Such little faith in people. The guard gets to the top quickly, like a monkey climbing up creepers. Oh, it's a rope ladder. Awesome. You, on the other hand, need to make stops and wait for the ladder to calm itself. When you join the man on the wooden platform, you're a bit dizzy. Cool. Oh, wow. Give me that full map, baby. There's a nice place like Howler's Dell. For the next few minutes, he describes the fields and the crops, the flocks and the pastures, the shepherds inspecting the fences, the ancient garden of trees and bushes larger than the village itself, sunlight dancing on the stream to its own tune. If you were to believe everything he described, this place has access to everything in abundance. The sweetest honey, the most fragrant bread, the softest wool, and the beer, 'tis excellent. Sounds like a city merchant who's trying to sell an old house. Yeah, like that. I'm not a dick. And the island in the middle connects both parts of the village. According to the man, the northern gate is hardly ever opened as it leads nowhere now. Near the eastern gate, there's the Ape Ale Inn, who I was told about. A bed and victuals, and there's a stall where Akakos rewards our work unless we annoy him with pointless talk. Cool. On the opposite side of the creek, there's another white house. It belongs to Byong, the best clothier in the north. The priests live in the southeast, near the wall, but they do not talk to strangers. You also hear about the hunter, the cooper, the fisherman, the miller. The pie maker lives with his sister, the baker. The smith and her husband. God, there better not be a quiz on this, or I better not to remember all that. Some of the larger buildings could accommodate 2, maybe even 3 generations at once. There could be more than 100 dwellers here. Cool. Awesome. Try to get down quickly, but 2 steps are enough to make you sure that it's a bad idea. Wait for the ladder to finish its balance. You're relieved when you touch ground again. Cool. The fancier buildings are covered with whitewashed coatings, surrounded with vegetables, herbs, and flowers. The bridges are wide enough to carry even a wagon, but for a horse walking on the wooden beams is far from pleasant. What? The islet is empty, but you notice an empty stall painted with the shapes of colorful flowers. Cross that second bridge. So I came in here, so now I'm here. Along the entire path, you notice more and more people observing you, smiling, or casually greeting you as they're focused on their own tasks. Finally, you reach the main square. A large tree grows in the center, surrounded by dark water, held together by a thin wall, perfect for sitting. But the smell coming from the liquid makes you think of rotten eggs. Awesome. The plant reminds you of the tree you saw in the south next to the swamp altar. Okay. In the north, you see the Ape Ale Inn. Judging by the tables, stools, and benches, it's open for guests. On the side of the dining area, the merchants are arguing with a tall, broad-shouldered worker. An old man is sitting by himself, eating a pie with a walking stick leaning against the table. Cool. So this is just like an idyllic town. A little cutesy place. Wide wooden roof next to the gate that shelters carts. Move your mount next to a donkey to the beam placed here just for this purpose. Without a moment of hesitation, the horse starts to chew on the nearby haystack. You have some time to make sure it doesn't struggle with your bundles. sitting in a chair with a 4-year-old boy on her knees, holding her hand gently, showing him how to eat gruel from a bowl. It's not a cheap meal, though. It's nuts, berries, and milk, and the added honey makes it yellowish. The kid is clean and quiet. Am I clean? I'm clean, right? Cool, I don't stand out from the crowd. Once he notices your arrival, he crams his mouth with a spoonful of oats. Now, love, the mayor titters. Do not get excited. She rubs the meal off his face. A few more spoons and you'll go help Papa in the kitchen, eh? She gives you a radiant though apologetic smile, then turns her attention back to her companion. These people are so nice. This is the nicest group of people in the game so far. All friendly and smiling. They probably commit human sacrifice. Her long, full-sleeved linen dress must have been dyed once in blue and once in red to achieve its dark, fancy purple. That is how you make purple. Barney taught me. I do. I know purple. Which would draw looks even in Hovleven. From her left shoulder hangs a green woolen cape as thin as a shawl. The brown belt on her waist has a large steel buckle that portrays a running deer with unrealistically large antlers growing in all directions like tree branches. Unlike her tribesfolk, she's pale, powdered and roughed cheeks, and her lips rouged? Fuck it. Although they're a bit closer to wine red, the gray, thick strands on her long blonde hair look more like a fashion choice than a result of aging. Her eyes are the color of her cape, keen and vigorous. She's shorter than most people around, though would still be the tallest woman in most of the northern settlements. While she's around 40, her slim hands add fragility to her appearance, even though her posture is upright, her legs confidently crossed, and her delicate voice assertive. She makes plenty of gestures, but her shoulders hardly ever move, so very much like elbow gesticulating. I'll wait. I'm not in a hurry. I've got time till dark. I'm probably gonna end up staying here the night. After a few more minutes, the boy lets out a gentle cough, and after a pat on the back, the mayor puts him on the ground. You did a great job, love, but now I need to speak with our guest. Darling, she addressed one of the other in-workers, a girl close to 15. Take him to your father, will you? Her tone suddenly gets firmer, leaving no hint of question or suggestion. Yes, Ma, she responds. Both her hair and her eyes are nothing like those of her brother, and neither of these kids resemble the mother. Okay. So we have a Roadwarden again. Please sit down. She showed you vaguely the palm of her open hand, letting you pick any place you want. You know what? I'm meeting somebody for the first time. I'm gonna sit across from him. Good look at the inn's front door leading to a cellar-like ground floor. It's dark, with crates and barrels covered with fruits, nuts, and vegetables. The actual inn is upstairs, but the only people who go in or out are the workers, most of whom are teenagers. Mayor observes your outfit carefully, maintaining a polite though cool smile. Once your eyes meet, she hardly ever looks away. Oh, so she's very opposite of the other people I've talked to. Most other people wouldn't meet my character's eyes, for various reasons. I know the man was deaf, and so was reading my lips, but I'm sure you're hungry. My husband will bring us something soon. Sure. Did I mention it? Hunger makes me feverish, and the day is too nice for that. She taps her chest and looks at a flock of birds that fly around above you loudly, heading south. As we're waiting, be so good as to help me understand something. Even if you're but a mercenary, I cannot imagine a single reason for you to choose this realm for your wardening. Not so long after Asterian's disappearance, there's nay glory nor treasure to be found here. Her pale fingers form a tent on her stomach, then clasp, leaving the forefingers pointing at you. You were sent here by the merchants. They want the peninsula. I mean, yeah. Let's see. Well, she got me. I don't hide the fact that the guild needs new opportunities. I make it clear that collaborating with the city would keep... No, I'm probably never going to choose this. Very rarely. Portray the situation as lightly as I can. Present Hovland's interests as an opportunity. Vulnerable, sad, tired, afraid, or hopeless. I'm supportive and friendly. You introduce yourself with a touch on the more obvious side of the potential. You introduce yourself and touch on the more obvious sides of the potential deal with the guild and the city chief, the troops, their pay, and the patrols they would establish. The overview of taxes, trade routes would bring new life to this place. You try to sound warm. It's a win-win. Throughout your speech, the mayor observes you patiently without interruptions. I see, she finally responds. As she observes your palfrey, she twists her deer buckle left and right, left and right. If it was that simple, I'd be eager to applaud, but it is never that simple. Her eyes fill up with melancholy despite her smile. I appreciate that you're coming with a carrot, not a stick, but when it comes to the guild, there's always a catch. Her accent is now almost identical to the one used in the city. So she's getting, not anxious, but like the facade of, oh yeah, we're friendly, we can all work together, like it's kind of dropping. Yeah, I'm telling you everything I know. I can't ask you to trust me, but I'm not hiding anything. Even if I were eager to put trust in the words of a stranger, your honesty has nothing to do with the truth, necessarily. It doesn't put me in an easy position, as you can imagine. Here, listen to this trick I learned about during my studies. She theatrically clears her throat, patting her chest with one hand and covering her mouth with another, then leans forward and rests on her elbow, allowing her hands to freely make gestures. You make a deal with the settlement. Flour and wool in exchange for coins and tools. You send the first traders and then imply that you're ready to pay for more. Let's say parchment. Months later, you want no more rye, just the parchment and wool. We cannot butcher any more mouflons, the locals say. Don't worry, answer. We'll send you a small flock. Just turn a field of yours into a pasturage. As she pretends to speak as different characters, her voice comically shifts, and she has no issue switching between accents. Keep a straight face. Like she's telling a story. She's like, this is probably a thing that has happened. Where someone came in, it was like traders came in and were like, hey, like we'll buy your, it's very, not Walmart, but it's very like corporate to be like, come in, oh hey, we'll buy your stuff from you. And then like be like, oh, but we also are gonna like be buying this, and they're like, all right, cool, we'll get some of that ready. And then to show up next time, be like, we want only this, and we'll, like, if you can't supply it, we'll make it so that you can supply this, but then only supply this. Swings her hands above the table. Another year goes by, and while there's more parchment, the village lacks some crops. The tribe needs not just tools and coins, a lot of coins, but also seeds, and the guild is not satisfied. Sending our wagons costs a lot, and there are more highwaymen now. If you want us to come again, you'll need more mouflons to sell us their cheese. And guess what? Turns out that the village can't say no. They lack supplies, seeds, and land. They can't refuse. I mean, yeah, like that's like the pause doesn't leave for long. I see we understand each other. Let's finish the introduction. I am Thace. Hey, Thace. Yeah, that's who. Okay, one of the keepers of the Apple Isle Inn and the mayor of Hallisdale. I assume it would be convenient for you to take my answers back to Havlevin. Say, when could we expect the first caravan? After winter? Depends on what you can sell and what you want in return. Hey, food. While the conversation goes on, the food gets served. The refreshing aroma of roasted mutton covered with a thick sauce made of mint, parsley, and honey tempts you to bite it right away. Cool. It's all brought by a few young people. All of them referring to the mayor as their mother. So, it's probably either she's like a mother of them all, like as the mayor, she's like a matron figure. She adopted them all, or it's a weird cult religion thing. Let's see. And in the end, the innkeeper himself shows up to wish you a good meal. He's wearing a clean orange tunic and a not-so-clean apron made of hemp. He politely introduces himself as Eric's, and after confirming you won't get sick from what he prepared, he leaves you and his wife to your conversation. Thace tears the meat into smaller pieces, then eats slowly, often expressing her enjoyment with a hum. Let's get to the important stuff. Alright. Sounds like the nearby ground is fertile. The village would gladly pay its taxes in grain and vegetables, with the expectation that a squad of soldiers would provide additional protection. Our youth is strong, so we don't need your guards on our walls. but a lone road warden won't keep the roads passable. We need fighters willing to patrol the paths, maybe even the heart of the woods. That's what we'd expect in return. Cool. You're not an expert when it comes to linen, cheese, and wool, so the mayor spends a good couple minutes describing the outstanding quality of what the village has to offer, especially the clothes, which are meant to be as unique as those made by Master Crispus. You recognize vaguely the name of this tailor or shoemaker. Never earned enough to pay him for as much as a single sleeve. And of course, we'll never reject steel and bronze. We lack alloy for sickles and scythes. So then repeats the question about starting the trade route. Cool. Gonna take more than just your village. Understandable, but you won't find much in the other tribes. They have barely enough to survive even after they trade for our crops. For we have the only decent soil in this realm. At least the people of Gale Rocks have salt and barrels of fish, while Creeks sells meat and wood. Actually, if you haven't been in Creeks yet, the farthest village to the northeast, you could give them a chance. They could use your help with keeping their roads safe. White Marshes on the other end, as well as Old Pagos, are close to worthless. For a trade route, that is. Oh, that's a... Alright. After these words, she stands up, walks to another table, and offers her trencher to an elderly man who sits there by himself. With a trembling voice, he thanks her, then starts to chew on the soggy bread. She sits down, wipes her hands on the clean cloth, adjusts the folds of her cape, and once more crosses her legs. So tell me, how's Hovlivin? I haven't gathered much news since the invasion. Hold on. Do I know about an invasion? Is that a thing I've been told? I don't remember. Yeah, new generation's ready for their own fight. And I was afraid it was lost to hunger. Good to know I was wrong. When the invasion started, some merchants were cheering in their houses, happy that they would sell out all the blades and food they had stored. Can you believe it? This panic will make us rich. Wow, that feels... I feel that. Imitates the voice of a pompous man. That's why when the southerners reached the villages, they found almost nothing to eat. Staying in a remote peninsula can truly be a blessing. She pauses, hesitant to go on, then shakes her head slightly. Well, we can't change the past. How can I help you? God, there's so much going on. Looking for a Asterion. Small donkey. Hold on. I've heard that the small donkey bellies bring weak offspring to horses. Her pale fingers reach for her own stomach. Weird. When her eyes return to you, they regain their sharpness. I'd rather avoid talk about that man. Let him remain as a part of the past spring. Since you're asking about him, I can only assume he was indeed sharing his goal with you. Sure, I won't deny it. Yeah, you're already different from him. I like it when travelers don't try to sell me bluegrass. Seeing you frown, she waves it off. It's just a saying. His words were stronger than his deeds, and he's no longer welcome here. If you have to know, he failed, and won't get a second chance. He was meant to escort Aegidia, a daughter of mine, to her betrothed in Gale Rocks. She was a great archeress, and the road from here to the coast is not that dangerous. When they saw goblins on the road, Asterion ordered her to push through, right into their trap. They got jumped like a bunch of wealthy pilgrims. A Roadwarden worth their gruel should know better. He can fight with a blade. With my girl, she never had a chance. He disappeared soon after his pitiful attempt at apologizing to me, and we closed our doors behind him. For good, I'll let you know if he ever tries to return. Try asking for him in the north. He spent most of his time between White Marshes, Gale Rocks, and Creeks. Here, he wasn't that eager to share his plans. Ooh. One day she's going to charge at our walls, awoke and empty. Oh. She listened to people. Sure, why'd you let him leave? He didn't do anything well. Forbidden. He was simply stupid and cannot be trusted, but this isn't Havlavan. We have no rich folk to dread. We treat each other fairly. Lost in her thought, she rubs the neckline of her dress. One good thing I can say about him is that he didn't try to justify his decisions or to avoid the consequences, but I'd rather have him prove first he can do what's asked of him. 12 kids, 9 years. Jeez. A few are already with the forest, but most are all grown now, even starting their own families. They aren't exactly our children. It's custom of our village for the mayor to look after the orphans. There we go. See? All right, that's not too bad. Thankfully, Eric's has a big heart, much more patience than I do. Back in Havlavan, have you spent any time on Backwater Corner? It used to be this dark, dirty alley with muggers working even in daylight. I stayed there with Octavia the miller in exchange for doing chores for her. She had this small wooden hut. Oh, so I get to decide what the place is like. Cool. Yeah, sure. Explain that while the place is still called the bad part of the city, the Boarhead make a good coin selling beer and ale to students, mercenaries, and adventurers. The whole land may turn wild one day, you quote with one of the local traders, but Backwood Corner will always stay the same. Comforting that there are these places, these dark corners where you can always find what you expect. Living there, though. This sounds awful and always was. I bet the thugs of my youth are no longer around, so I wouldn't count on them to give me a free pass. But I wish I could make a chance to drink a mug or two with the innkeeper once more. The old lady was always good to stay. Was always too good to stay in that muck. Let's see. Sure. Tell me about the Dell. That's a lot of reading. No tales, songs, ancestors' rituals, or days of prayer. It's like listening to a tax collector. The wisdom of the elders, now kept in the teachings of the druids. Hold on. Only at the very end of her speech, she mentioned the wisdom of the elders, now kept in the teaching of the druids, who help her guide those who trust her. They heal our wounds and our gardens. But then changes the topic to all the fruit, trees, hairs, and nuts growing in the woods. Cool. All right, so it's kind of a druidy thing. How do people dress in the city these days? Is it similar to what we have here? Before the war, the merchants were wearing those really long dresses and robes, way too long for my taste. They got mud stains after every rain, and I see no reason to keep shoes completely hidden. Let's see. As far as I can tell, many folk wear headgear. Most people wear tunics. At least we can hope that if the visitors arrive, we won't stand out much. And who knows, maybe our little village here is going to help those unfortunate clothiers. I'm sure we could spare a couple sheets of fabric. Yeah. I didn't want to think about their tragic fate. No one can negotiate with the wrath of the herds, which I guess are the beasts and monsters. And I better not find you upsetting my neighbors with these sad questions. It was a challenging time for all of us, a wound we won't forget. All right, cool, done. Weird tree. Oh, beholder, guardian spirit of the wetlands. Every fall we bring in our gifts, and in return it provides us with a blessed fruit, the flesh of the forest. It's older than the oldest books and the oldest thoughts. The druids help us honor its sleep and show us how to ask for its help. Neither of these rituals would be of use to you. You know what? That's just rude. Glossy's band. Can't give you my answer. I won't ask our hunters to endanger their lives. I could ask her. What a splendid idea. There are only 3 villages in the north. Oh, exaggerated relief. Bring me news from these places and you'll get my answer. Yeah, sure. Why not? I don't necessarily care about the money. We talk and talk, but I still don't know where you are from. What's your story? Have you lived in Hovland your entire life? Only for a bit. See the city for the first time after being surrounded by a couple of small houses and fields. A bit strange, isn't it? Even after my second winter there, I felt like a stranger. With those who know how to live in the countryside close to the wilderness, always find a new home for ourselves. Alright. Necromancers of the north. Yes, I have. Cool. White marshes for sure. I don't know all that much about what's happening. We avoid their lands if we can. I shouldn't gossip about it with strangers. We can talk about it on another occasion. Sure. Well, I can consider it right now. But if you want me to give you an answer, some gestures of goodwill would be a great start. Since you're the guild's messenger, I need to know you can be relied on. And that's only the first step. Are you even empowered to handle tax negotiations? Do enough for my village and I'll hand you a beautiful signed letter. A list of all the things my neighbors are looking for, as well as what they can give in return. Your superiors are going to see more than enough to prepare their offer. I think that's fair. Looks like we're in agreement. Cool. New mundane jobs. One more thing, though. If you go behind my back, I'm not going to wait for a dagger. I'll end you first. Jesus. Okay. Rest of chain against an open palm, giving you a disarmingly warm smile. I'm sure people already know that we have a new Roadwarden. Maybe ask around if someone needs help. The more my neighbors trust you and need you, the more willing they'll be to offer you better pay. Well, let's start there. What can I do for you? Before I ask you to run, let's see how well you can walk. They turn away as quickly as you notice them. Since Asterian's disappearance, there's little trade on the roads and not much news reaches us. Be so kind and help me learn some interesting tales about our neighbors. See, I knew that deep down you're a true sage. Let's see. Cool. Since they cleared that camp of brigands, they went so quiet I almost forgot about them. Surprised they've managed to stay alive till this day. Sending such an inexperienced group here shows that the officials misjudged this land. Sure. And that's all I got for now. Keep thinking, surely city folk don't eat just wild game. Salt, fish, and groats. What animals do people breed in the nearby villages? People raise crickets and rats. Alright. Let's go with, let's say Muslims. Our livestock won't sell well, but that's fine. It's hard to keep the number of lambs high. We would need to sacrifice a field to raise a new flock. Cool. Thank you for your time. Let's talk to Eric's. Even though I can't understand that. Cool. How can I help you? Any rumors? Cool. Neighbors keep their own company. Better for everyone to seek help from a wife or the forest speakers. 9 a mug of ale. Yeah. Sometime tomorrow. Okay. And he reads, a timid fellow, talks loudly, but is afraid of everything, especially the guards. His face is touched by flames, has a big ballista. He says this word with a strange accent, smirking, and a large bird as his beast of burden. I do not know what to say. He went south and is most likely gone. How many coins do I have? I've got, what, 5 left? 6. Cool. You can eat food, drink, butter. Oh, cool. Thanks. Let's talk to the trader. Always friendly. For you, a trader. For my neighbors, the treasurer. Name's Akakos. Akakios. Everyone brings here what they have in abundance, and I either sell it to travelers or divide it amongst the workers, builders, artisans. These things here are mine, but I can show you our wares if you want. But do not ask for better prices just because you're a traveler. I need to explain myself for every deal I make, or Thace will laugh me all the way to the pyre. Asterion. He was here more than once. He never did leave much behind. Smelly hoarder. At least he bought a blade from me. Special one, a sickle sword with a tip wider than 'twas at the grip, long as from fingertips to shoulder. Not a sword, not a knife, single edged. Brought his own steel. Oh, he bought a like a jungle machete. Which is a fine tool. Pathfinders use it. My pa used to have one as well. He chopped nuts with it. Nuts and mouflons. Pretty much anywhere. There are hills from here to the coast and bogs to the north in the heart of the woods. Can I help you with it? You need any help? There's something urgent. Ugh, urgent. I need a medicament for my daughter. Not that she's hurt or anything. She's a teen, wants to start hunting in the woods. I cannot teach her much, but I'd sleep better with her having a healing potion. You have almost 9 days. Bring me the potion before the last dusk, and I'll pay you 5 dragon rings. Hell yeah. We're gonna find a potion. I can think of 2 places. The safest bet is probably Old Pagos on the mountains of the crazy monks. Crazy and boring, more boring than a mouflon, but they're often... How are you crazy and boring? But they brew with Numa. You can also head south, east of the crossroads behind Pelt of the North. I've not been there myself, but you'll find a dolmen there as old as the city, and this is meant to open some secret passage there. She want to take a stall? No, but that's fine. She hates me. Better for her to take after her mother. What? Since you have to know. I don't have to know. You can just say no. Our law makes me admit Oh, okay. Yeah, no. Fuck you. I was a wife beater, and by my own deeds, I lost my family. Sorry. Just like... That's funny. Like, the fact is like, oh, well, legally I have to tell you. Daughter has a new father now, and I'm not allowed to marry again. But I'd never touch my girl. Keeping her safe is the right thing to do, even if it doesn't make things right. Cool. How do you know about that secret? From a merchant. She's from south of Hag Hills. I was meant to pass the key on to a friend, but he never showed up. Are you keeping it? I kept it with my trinkets and coins, that's all. We were planning to go there for years, which is one of those things you talk about but not do. Alright, fine. Anything else? Nope. That's it. Cool. A young man is reprimanding a little girl who dropped a shattered a clay bowl. A group of laughing villagers is chasing after a running hog. Cool. So I just want to, so I can do mundane jobs and Howler's dead. Oof. Cool. Alright. Well, I think I'm gonna call it there. This has been wonderful. This is, like, so far, nothing horrible has happened. Nothing horrific. So I've been enjoying this. So hopefully, I'll do more of this, and we'll see where it all goes. So until next time.